That's amazing.
At Lava, was it easy for you to get into that role?
It started out, it was a super weird transition. I got hired technically to be the head of Lava's personal assistant, and then I moved into A&R coordinator, and then now I'm full-time A&R. Switching into the assistant role was weird because I don't know if I don't do well with authority, but I definitely I like being autonomous. And it was really weird switching from being like on my own schedule, working on my music, having my own priorities first, to immediately being switched into like, this person is all that matters. And we have to make sure that their life runs perfectly. And yeah, it was very weird to sort of put myself second for a little bit. And then switching into A&R coordinator was cool. And now that I'm switching into A&R, so much fun. Because now I just get to help other artists realize their artistic dreams. And it's so awesome.
About the assistant role and like working for someone else, like always being where you know about like their schedule and what they're going through, like is that kind of what led you to do the yoga yoga instructions and like kind of take more time for yourself maybe, or like I know it's kind of turning it around, but like was that something that made you think, okay, I really need to, like when I have my me time, like that I'm really like, did you realize that through that role, or was that just like something that came along later?
That's really interesting. I never thought of it as a coming out of that role, but I mean, that does make perfect sense. I came out of that role really trying to figure out my sense of autonomy again and figuring out what me time looks like and what priorities I do have. I got into the whole yoga teacher training because I always do yoga. I do yoga every morning just to get centered and aligned for the day. And I've always been doing it at home through YouTube videos, and I wanted to make sure that I was being safe and not like injuring my body because I wasn't sure if I was doing any of the yoga correctly physically. So I signed up for the training under that mindset. But through it, it's, I mean, philosophically and the whole meditation aspect and even the diet and the lifestyle aspect of it totally changed the way I live, the way I feel. Yeah. And it's been awesome. And I think I would have been better in the assistant role if I had done this earlier, but it's better late than never.
Oh, I guess like has this new sense of like mindfulness changed any way that you approach your music or your career even?
It's calmed me down a lot, which is great. Yeah, it definitely has given me the new, not necessarily new mindset, but reinforced the mindset of, you know, we're making art because this is what we love making, and other people are making stuff that they love. And it's not a zero-sum game, especially now with the way the industry is. I mean, everybody can make music every day and put it out. Fair game. It's not taking away any listeners from anyone else because everyone has it all on Spotify. No one's even paying for the music. So it's definitely put in perspective with the whole, you know, we're all in this together. We're all making music. There's no need to root against anyone. It's just better to support the whole crew and lift everyone up.
What are some of the things you do to prepare for your live shows? And do you want to take us through a little bit of that process for you?
Sure. Well, we always have a different drummer. So we always do like one band practice the week of the show. It always stresses me out beyond belief. But it always turns out great. I'm always so nervous right before the show. Like 2 weeks before the show, I'm losing my mind because I've never even met my drummer most of the time. And then, because my brother's in charge of finding the bandmates and then rehearsing with them. So about a week before the show, we have one practice and then everything is fine. Because I get there and everyone's always so talented and so happy, and it doesn't even matter what it sounds like because we're all just having fun. And then I kind of calm down, and for the rest of the week before the show, it's all just Instagram promo and texting people trying to get everyone to come out.
Yeah, what are some of the ways that you feel like are the most effective when promoting your shows or promoting your music in general?
Promoting shows, texting changed the game. Because I never used to text people. I felt so obnoxious doing it. And then one of my friends texted me being like, hey, just a reminder, I'm playing a show tomorrow night. And I had the genuine reaction of like, yeah, I forgot about that. Thank you. I'll be there. And I was like, you know what? It's not bothering anyone. I'm shoot everybody a text the day before my show. Every single person I've ever met.
That's so nice. And it's also kind of like a personal, like it's getting a personal invitation to your event.
Yeah.
It's like, it's almost like, I mean, today in like today's world, it's almost like sending them a letter and being like, hi, I'm playing the show tomorrow.
But you just brought up a great idea. I'm going to start writing letters. No more texting. I'm going to send
Wow.
a letter.
But
the texting has been nice because like with the people that I haven't seen in a minute and I am texting them, I mean, if it's someone that really I'm not connected with and I just happen to have their number, I'm not going to text them. But I text everyone that it makes sense to. And honestly, it like has put me back in touch with so many people in my life.
like, I want to know about what you're working on now. What, like, you have, I'm sure, some time in quarantine, and are you working on music now? What stage is your music in at this point for your next release?
Yeah, I'm super stoked. I mean, the quarantine has been rough all around the world.
Yeah.
But bright side is I have had a lot of time to work on my music, and which was kind of a blessing in disguise for me because I didn't realize how much I was putting it on the back burner because I was focusing on all the artists on my roster, which has been awesome, and they're all excelling, and I'm so grateful to be a part of their journeys. But it's been really cool to like take a minute and wrap up my new EP. So I just signed on with AWOL for my next project, and I finished audio art. I made so many videos while I've been here in quarantine, and I have it all lined up. So the first single is coming out in June, next single to follow, then the EP, and yeah, by the end of the summer, I'm gonna have a whole lot of new music out. And then to lead up to it, I'm actually putting out a cover this month of Boys by Charlie XCX, and that's coming out on May 15th. So that's going to kick it all off. And it's sort of, the cover is sort of the switch because my last EP was primarily real instruments and very like singer-songwriter, almost Americana-ish. And the new music is very indie pop and made it on Logic. There's lots of beats and it's really danceable and it's really fun. So I figured I'd do a sort of singer-songwriter stripped-down version of an indie pop song, Boys by Charlie XCX, to sort of bridge my projects. So we're getting ready to cross the bridge this month.
Right?
You're
Do you
on the
think if
bridge.
you had, like this free time right now that things would have been moving along as fast for your album?
Is it because of quarantine that I've gotten this far with it? Yeah. Definitely. I never would have sat down and planned out a release strategy if I was still going at my daily pace.
And yeah, that's so cool though. But do you have a favorite show that you've seen? Maybe it's like one that you were able to work at or just in general?
Yep. Immediately, Rainbow Kitten Surprise. I saw them maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I didn't really listen to their music before that. And a friend of mine was just like, hey, I want to go to the show. No one will go with me. I end up at a lot of shows because all my friends know me as the person who goes to concerts every single night. So a lot of times I'll get hit up like, no one will go with me. And I'm like, sure, let's go to a concert again. Why not?
Oh my gosh.
So I went to Rainbow Kitten Surprise, and not even knowing any of their music, the joy that they had on stage was amazing and so contagious. It was so much fun. And I genuinely walked away from it being like, I need to rework my live shows because they sounded great. There was no question. Like, they had a tight live show, a bunch of people on stage playing lots of complicated instruments, and they sounded perfect. But the lead singer was not worrying about anything. Like, Sam was not paying attention to anything else that was going on stage. He was living his absolute best life. And I was like, wow, I need to have more fun on stage.
How do you get out of that shell though? Like, how do you break free from your own mind, like when you're on stage?
Dancing has been huge because I realized as soon as your hips start to move, your brain stops working in all areas of life, which is great. So, and watching the Rainbow Kitten Surprise show, that guy was all over the stage and just in the crowd and harassing his bandmates, which is my new favorite thing to do on stage. And I've always been behind a guitar or behind a piano on stage, which I still am most of the time, but I consciously made the switch for a couple songs. Like I won't go more than 3 songs with a guitar, because you have to actually put all the stuff down and just move and be like, oh yeah, this is why I made the music. It feels good.
Does it like really help like kind of getting into